So good. You're right. I don't know when this fucked up. Yeah, you should have came. You should have brought a friend. Oh, okay, my bad. We're doing the Friendsgiving too, though. Yeah. Doing the Friendsgiving. Did I pick David? Sure.
I'm looking.
It's weird that you don't know what they doing.
I keep cooking, I don't got no leg to bring. What?
You want to bring Chrissy again?
Yeah.
I bet.
I'm bringing all my food.
I'm gonna be bald.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
She was here. She was here.
He was here.
Okay, well,
You want to put this in a free?
No, I'm with it. Man, I get all fucking tight. Like, my shit. Oh, my. I need to realize, like, curate my beard, bro. Like, shit, like, cut the sideburns and shit.
real do a whole shopping trend.
That nigga. Y'all niggas.
You know, like on 7 shot and what? Let's do another shot.
I'm happy y'all was here though. Because y'all made me look good. Because y'all was funny. And
Come on, real.
yeah, real ain't you nigga. No, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. See, that's why I get aggressive when I drink, because this nigga is like this nigga talking shit.
You don't notice that that's how he gets his fun
Yeah, no, he talk shit. No, but I be like, I don't be serious, but I be talking my shit. That's what happened. And that's what happened with your mom.
No, he was talking about around issue when he talking about
That's why I fucked. That's where I fucked up.
Yeah, I told you that dude first thing I done.
Yeah, that's where I fucked up.
Yeah.
That's where I fucked up. But now that was my fault.
She be alright.
Yeah, she was sure.
Ice up, son.
It wasn't no like on some like I hate you this whole time shit. Like it was just like yeah, we was.
I'm gonna do that about the mouth.
Oh. But yeah. Fuck out of here.
You a wild boy. I mean, I'm like, that's right. That's not right. I told you, you gonna fuck in my face in my house. Where did that come from? Why would I do that? Trying to make me look bad in front of your friends.
Number one. There we go.
Because you said I was gonna hit you.
I said that? When did I say that? I said your hands was fast.
I always say that. On the day when you said I hit it, I said we was talking. You was like, Tony.
Nigga, and by the time we was sitting right here, I was asleep.
No, he was not.
And still talking.
I was functioning the whole time.
Nigga, I don't remember. Like,
you weren't like that.
I don't even know. I took pictures with her that I don't remember. There's a whole like set of pictures with this nigga. I had to admit like that. I don't know. Like yeah, there's a.
And then he said, "Now he like, I'm crap." So I told him, like, "You hit my head in my house." He's like, "You think, bro?" I'm just saying, so you hit me in my face, so in my house.
I don't remember. No, that's not. That's not.
I forgot what he was talking about. I'm not. Niggas out of nowhere, so you gonna hit me in my face and all. I'm like, nah, chill, you gotta chill.
But you could tell it was a liquor, so that's why she was like,
No, it's because they kind of. But like I was saying, shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up, buddy. Tied. I'm fucking the tie at this point. I said bring Frex over for the Friendsgiving shit. So, but I we'll let you know what date.
You let me know, bro.
Alright, before the end of the week, you should have a date.
what?
Before the end of the week, you know.
Say you're not invited.
What the fuck are you talking about? Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Son, get it.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're invited as long as you're up here, nigga. Just said this. This is this is still Hennessy or is this the Jim Beam? Oh, alright. Can I get a Jim Beam Coke and Jim Beam for my co-host? Just a Jim Beam? Jim Beam, I don't have any ice. It's gonna be straight.
I got
You
water.
talking to me?
It's chilled. Yeah, no,
Oh, it's
I mean tap. We're not set up like that. It's tap water. You good with tap water?
We
Just
got
give me a
a
shout out.
Brita.
Give me
We got a
The Brita is not gonna have a filter.
Just give me some water.
Can I get a cup of water and a cup like a shot, like a half a shot of a shot and a half of
Here you go.
no. A shot and a half of Jim Beam and some water. I'm straight.
You're MVP for eating ass, bro. You're MVP for eating ass.
Asking for what? Oh. What? He's talking about his home. He's talking about his home life. What the fuck are you talking about? You talking about you might not being the real MVP. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I didn't go something.
No, that's not. I appreciate that though. She appreciates
If you do go to something else, we're gonna tell you. Tony, you need something? You need something? Right, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why I just say a little bit. Now, Tony. That's all we got. Tony, you trying to say something?
that doesn't drink. You bitch.
What?
Was that? What happened? Oh, okay.
My ass hurt my head on my issues. That's why I mean, you feel me? All over again.
You didn't get the haircut the other week? You didn't get the haircut the other week? You said when they y'all trying to move up to the bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got to be done with my
Oh, that wasn't that long ago.
That was when I first got there. That was the first thing I got. That was the second thing I got. That was 2 weeks ago.
All right, bro. All right, what do I got?
It's recording on YouTube. Anyway.
We a whole hour. This nigga advertised 9 o'clock is 10:01. Y'all that nigga time. Oh shit. That shit, the election on nigga time.
Ready?
Yeah, we good.
Let's do this. What up? It's your boy T.
It's your man B.
You on the ride up?
I had to do something different. Man.
You got some opera in that shit?
Yeah, the fat lady is singing right
Season 2, episode 28.
now.
Who we gonna get at? Who we gonna do? We gonna do our guy? It's only one 28 Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl winner,
Absolutely.
former fastest man in the NFL.
HTTR. all day, every day. Daryl Green. Salute, salute. We got Henny with his Jim. That's Jim. Jim. Yeah. We got Jim. So and water. We're not all the way set up here. The water is not going to the refrigerator yet, or that's all that's gonna happen.
All right, so when he said that means we are live and direct in Brian's newly purchased home with him and his lovely fiance. Occasionally you may hear some voices in the background because we got some guests with us. We got Felice with us, we got Breeze, and we got Rock in the back.
Are you talking? Yeah. Oh.
So
I thought you were saying something.
it's election night, yo.
No, it's not election night. It's election week.
It's gonna be election month the way it's looking like. You know what I'm saying? Your man came out early proclaiming victory and shit.
I won. Don't let the votes count. That came in weeks before.
He was super goofy for that one.
Dumb as fuck. We have a dumb president that white people wanted to elect again. Again.
Whoa. See. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. Don't do that. Because you said white people. It's some goofy ass Negroes.
Yeah, 18% of the black people want to fucking put him in office because they're dumb as fucking.
There's some goofy, especially you little pimp.
Little pimp. That's a white man.
Little pimp.
That's a white kid that thought he was part of the culture, but he's not. That was some.
You don't like Little Pimp?
Little Pimp. I don't know who Little Pimp is.
Somebody got him in the earpiece. He corrected that shit the second time. Like, Lil Pump.
Yeah, he's talking about Beyonce. Yo, somebody get this. Somebody get him, bro. But no, real life, no hip hop artist should be endorsing any candidate. I'm looking at you. Looking at you.
Why not?
Because they all uphold the oppressor, bro.
Okay.
Barack did. It doesn't matter whose face is on the presidency. They're not going to change enough in our condition to be hoisted up as any type of liberator. So it's incumbent on us as black people to understand our condition, even if we make millions. Like, you're not different, 2 Chainz.
But he said he was.
You're not different. And
he said he's different like 5 times.
You know who told the truth though? You know who told the truth?
Who that?
While he was endorsing Joe Biden? The blind man.
Stevie Wonder?
Stevie. You know who's gonna get his reparations? Joe. You better get his reparations. That's what he was trying to press. He was trying to press him. That's what he's supposed to do in that position.
No disrespect to Joe, but I ain't getting pressed out by no blind nigga. He got me fucked up. He got me all the way fucked up.
They both 70. I bet Joe Lamb. I bet Stevie Lamb before Joe did. I bet you.
Land what?
100.
Land on the ground?
A left and a right.
On Joe?
Yeah. Yeah.
If that happened, he deserved it.
You do deserve it. Before that. No. You got the text coming in. Hey. It's a wonderful life, bro. When you have to try to understand and share as a partnership, you gotta understand that you're not the only one that matters. But we're talking about the elections.
This nigga here trying to fix a bloodless relationship. He trying to smoke signal off his motherfucker. He trying to smoke signal to his somebody like, you gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna relate back to it. Remember what I was saying on episode 28 about us working together? I was talking about you, baby. Not Joe Biden, not Trump. I was talking to you.
So
tell him what he won.
Nothing.
So So early on, everybody was panicking because Trump it looked like he had a stranglehold on a lot of the battleground states, man.
That's
a
why.
lot of the battleground states.
That's why you don't just listen to Twitter and social media, because for months, even like in July and August, people were saying, "Oh yeah, it's going to take a week, maybe 3 or 4 days for the results to actually like process, because there's going to be a lot of mail-in ballots,
Right.
because of there's something called a pandemic, because of there's something called a novel coronavirus that hasn't been seen before, and it still is raging across this country because the guy that is currently in power can't seem to figure out that herd immunity needs to be assisted by a vaccine. So, we gotta do cameras and shit.
It's like at a family reunion when you got like 3 aunts trying to take the picture at one time. You don't know what's gonna look.
And my girl back there, I don't want to look crazy. All right, bet. So
You used to call me Crazy Joe. That name was cool like that.
About to leave, you know what I mean? Reference out
Get the thing off the door.
out the bag, bro.
Oh, man.
The teacher was on a show, The 100.
Mm-hmm.
He was dope in The 100. Anyway, watch The 100, and I wish The 100 was on.
He wasn't a teacher.
He was a substitute. No, not Joe. The teacher, he was giving a hard time. The male
You
teacher.
talking about Michael Beach? That's the actor's name.
Okay, Michael Beach.
Yeah, Michael Beach.
He wasn't a teacher.
I believe he was the. No, yeah, maybe he might.
No,
No, he wasn't.
no, he wasn't. He was an assistant.
No, he was a teacher.
Okay. All right, bad. So, where were we? So, okay, mail-in ballots. When Republican legislators say that you can't count them until the election day is finished, meaning it's going to take longer because they're gonna count the walk up on the 3rd votes first.
Right. And so, for people who don't know, they count. They've already tracked that majority of the mail-in votes were from Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were saying some of those states where it looked like the Republican Party was ahead in the polls, and it looked grim, and then you started seeing those numbers shrink regardless of how high the count was already, it's because they count those walk-in votes, and and it's been tracked that more Republicans do walk-in votes than they do mail-in ballots.
Because the guy that is currently in charge of the executive branch of this country thought it was a good idea to tell them to not mail in your vote. So what ends up happening is this: the cities where there's a concentrated Democrats, like Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Atlanta,
Detroit. It happened in Detroit, what you about to say.
So and Michigan was called for Joe Biden. It happens that they had a lot of mail-in ballots, a lot of absentee and mail-in ballots. So that got counted last. They're still getting counted. Michigan just got called for earlier today was for Joe Biden, and we're probably going to see Pennsylvania do the same, and maybe Georgia, because Atlanta is in the same boat. We're talking a lot about politics. This is we've prided ourselves on being a sports podcast, but sports is politics is a lot like sports, except for it's like a lot of real life implications to people that the people that actually report on politics don't give a shit about you. Don't give a fuck. But they report on it like it's a sports event.
Don't they?
It's crazy, right? So look, so we're looking at a resurgence, and we're seeing the coward in chief tweet like a loser. And oh man, we didn't talk about it's been 2 weeks, bro. I got suspended off Twitter. So shout out to Chad Dukes.
I didn't want to tell him. I wanted
Okay. It wasn't about Chad Dukes though. I got suspended because I said nigger too much. and that algorithm hit me. But shout out to Chad. So
That's 'cause you light skinned.
we will get back. We're gonna get back. Yeah.
They thought you was white. They saw that beard, bald head, white. It's like, oh, we gonna have to spend him.
I blacked out my Abby like 3-4 weeks ago because I was like, yeah, but now I see that doesn't they don't care about that.
And your Twitter name is Brian Mills.
Yeah.
That's like a white motherfucker thing. But then again, Davidson would have sounded white too. You got white ass name, bro.
Hey, look, man, there's a lot
What
of
is
white ass niggas.
And your middle name Williams? William?
No, that's no. Richard is not this.
Oh, Richard. It's Richard. Your name is Brian Richard. Brian Richard Davidson. White. White. You should run for. Hey, you ever seen this thing with gentlemen? You should run for fucking politics, bro.
I should. That's a great. That's a great idea. We talked about that when we.
Distinguished gentleman gets slept on, but he used the fucking.
Where is
Jeff Jefferson?
Jeff Johnson? Yeah, because they
Or Jefferson Johnson.
because the guy was Johnson and they.
Yeah, but your name is Brian Richard. You got Richard, you can run for fucking politics.
Absolutely.
I will vote for you for student council if you run for it right now.
I'm announcing my candidacy for county council.
No, I said student council. I ain't voting for county council.
Nigga, if you voted in 2020, you better vote for 2022 for fucking county council.
I'm voting. Hey, I'm endorsing Brian right now for county council 2020.
Facts. 2020. Shut the fuck up. It's not. It's not Raphael Sadiq. This is not anybody's birthday.
That's the anniversary. Lil Pimp said at the Trump rally. I'm endorsing Trump.
Oh, he's a dickhead.
Trump's a great man.
Shout out. You're talking about Lil
2020. Like, nigga.
Let's talk about
That did not work well for you.
let's talk about Lil Wayne fall this and his dreads falling out every time he goes against.
Hey, listen, this is just a subject. I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Nah,
I'm from Dome over here. From Dome.
nah, you hairless fuck. You need to shave that shit like us, nigga. We here, like we already on that way.
He's talking about Lil Wayne, by the way. I mean, my squad already got on my ass. They talking about you, Dwayne Carter. Dwayne Carter.
Dwayne Carter, bro. Your whole politics is based off you getting saved by a police officer that got fired for calling people niggers.
Gave him a pass. That's why.
That's wild, right, bro? That's wild, nigga. Like, why did you think? And then you have spoke several times about you not being political. Then blah 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 blah.
Oh, you saying cool? I think you saying like
cool. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
It's a double
Right. Shoot. Good shit.
But then you wear a suit because I remember a lyric because I love this lyric. It's like, why don't I ever wear a suit and tie? He's like, they put that on you when you die, motherfucker. You wore a suit and tie to this motherfucking photo op.
Isn't Wayne a fella now?
You died.
Isn't he a fella?
No, actually, because he doesn't live his rap songs.
Nah.
No, he is a fella because he had a gun in New York.
He a fella for that gun charge. So he can't even
after his rap. I mean, it depends on the state. Felons, check your state if you can vote. Maryland, you can vote if you're not on probation. Florida, you can vote if you don't owe money. And California just wrote it and said that felons can vote. It depends on your state.
The Snoop Dogg just voted for the first time.
Absolutely, right? It's probably out of all situations that he needs.
I didn't even know he had felonies. Like, I've been watching. I mean, I knew he had, but I didn't know he had. I mean, he for a murder charge.
So,
guess he got caught with the coke though.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Another one of the niggas on the list.
Respect to OG.
Facts.
And shout out to Ice Cube a little bit, halfway.
Talk.
Your contract with Black America, bro, it was as lightweight as the platinum plan that you thought you was gonna help with.
Good word.
You needed more. I felt the rhetoric, like I felt what you were saying, but then when you put it on paper, it wasn't what it was should be. And then you took the time to like deflect and distract from what we should be doing, which would be getting the guy that we probably should get out of office out. And I understand. I don't want to give Joe Biden a promotion after his 1994 crime bill. I feel you. After he was a segregationist for half of his political career, I feel you. But Ice Cube, bro, you can't give the guy any cover on the other side because they don't give a shit. Because he's been in power for 4 years and he's done nothing. So like the guy in power that's done nothing.
But see, here's the thing. Not everybody thinks he did nothing. Like there's people who believe that Donald Trump created a bill that freed their cousins.
That's not the case. That bill's
been
floating around.
They ignore every part of how a bill is made. Just because their cousin, who probably deserved to be locked up, maybe not for the time in which he was locked up, but he probably did some shit to deserve to get locked up in the first place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They do prosecute black men unfairly.
Of course they do.
But yeah, I feel you. Okay, so one, that law had been bouncing around in Congress for years. That law was passed by a Democratic House of Representatives. And that law, third, was passed by a Senate full of Republicans because they needed to give cover to their Republican president.
So
see, when you know,
so what you're saying is they only pass it so he can look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So when you know what's happening, what you should do, but you know why you don't know what's happening? Not Ice Cube, because you're rich, right? Mm. You know why the average person doesn't know what's happening? Because they need to make fucking money every day. They need to eat. Why the fuck am I gonna give a fuck about county executives? What initiative gets passed? I need to fucking eat tomorrow, bro. So I don't have the hours in the day to worry about what you're doing with my vote that I gave you in November. You do that on purpose, though. You know who you are. You understand the game. The game is distract. Oh, vote. Distract. Vote. Distract. And the civic duty is to vote. And we should all vote, right? We should all vote down ballot, president, whatever. But that doesn't stop there. It's to hold them accountable through their term. So if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you vote them out. But what happens is we are caught up in being under a capitalist regime that does not give a shit. So we get caught up in our everyday lives, and that's fair because we gotta eat to stay under this house. We gotta pay bills. We gotta do all those things, and voting and knowing what you're doing is one of the last priorities.
So let me ask you a question.
All right.
In knowing that, what would you say would be a step towards fixing that particular problem? And it sounds like you're talking about like it's like you're not even calling it, I'm saying, lack of voter education. You calling it basically it's lack of interest because you have to worry about self-interest first.
Yeah, facts.
So how do you
self-preservation?
So how do you, if you are a campaign manager, you need to strengthen your house, I'm saying, with more of your party. How would you go about bringing in these people? Because, like you said, they not watching, seeing. They not number one. They not even home. I get off at 10.
They're trying to keep.
If I get off at 10, I get home at 11. the CNN, you know what I'm saying, State of the Union and all this other shit that was on. It's already gone on.
If their kids still awake, they try to put them to sleep. They try to get them showered.
How would you reach to those? How would you reach those people?
It's like, hey, look, we're gonna get these rich motherfuckers to do some things that we need at the ground level. And if you vote for me and some of my homeboys in the state, we can get something accomplished. I understand that Maryland's very blue, but that's where I would go.
You know what I would suggest is that they don't think they need to simplify shit, but they
that's
do.
facts. No, that's
it's
facts.
like, think about it.
Right,
remember when you were little, and you might have even experienced it as an adult before you saying started being more aware of politics. When you're driving in your car and you don't, and like out of nowhere you would see these signs, vote for, and it means really nothing to you, right? Like when I was little, we would see all these shits pop up. We didn't know why or when it was happening. It was just happening. You can do that on social media. You can just start saying names to the point where it's like a song on the radio. That song on the radio here for 10 times. Now you sing the fucking song, even though you swear up and down how much you hate the song.
Simplify.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to start feeding people the same food over and over again so they like the taste. You know what I'm saying? It was I think the person's name was Middlebrooks. I think that's the name of the person. I don't remember, but I remember something Brooks, right? Maybe because my last name is Brooks. I don't know. But I know that when I got to the polls and I saw that person's name on it, I saw that shit, didn't recognize anybody else's name. Guess who got my vote?
Actually, I think that person, I voted in Anne Arundel County. I moved.
Maybe it was also Brooks. I think it's also
Brooks. That's
Brooks.
our county executive.
Right. He got my vote. That's my whole point. I don't know anything about it. At the time, I didn't know anything about it. I was like, you know what? I'm voting for that motherfucker because I know the name.
So, okay. There's a couple things that
was gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what as average citizens can do is to take time and educate yourself. There is an hour out of the day to kind of figure some shit out and keep abreast of what's happening, at least locally. Maybe not in the Senate or what your president is fucking up.
Some people just don't, and that's another thing. You got people who don't have
What happened?
You have some people who don't have the time or energy to care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you have people who just don't have the interest.
No, but
they just don't give a because they feel like they feel like, oh, my vote don't count, or when I vote don't matter, or they feel like that. But then people keep telling them like, yo, your vote does matter, but you can't wait till every 4 years to make your vote like truly matter. But it does matter. Like for instance, Barack Obama spent 8 years in the presidency, and bills that he may have wanted to get passed, he couldn't get passed. Why? Because people didn't do the work in between those years and vote people in who was going to side with him. So conversely, when Trump got in the office, he already had people in place. So it was easier for him to get started.
But also he got stonewalled once 2018 happened because the House was taken over by Democrats. But yeah, and you're absolutely correct.
That's what I said when he first got in.
Yeah, when he first got in. He had 2 years, just like Barack had 2 years. But the thing about that is this. I lost my train of thought. But yes, there needs to be follow-up, right? In the follow-up election. In 2010, there was 2014, where we could have gotten Barack the majority back in the Senate and this and the third. What are we looking at? Oh, okay. We're live here. Yeah, I text messages on the Zoom. I got my girl going upstairs. What's going on?
You had a whole cookout while we were doing the podcast.
Yeah, it's true. We had drones and all that flying around. What you're saying is correct, right? There's apathy in voters, but there's also needs to be some enthusiasm. There needs to be the candidate has to take some accountability for that, right?
Of course.
a lot of the party, then the candidate needs to take accountability for a voter apathy. Can we do more to counteract it? Yes, we can. We can figure out who's in charge of the voting for the state and say, yo, we want single transferable. I'm going to tell you what single transferable is. Single transferable voting is if you have one choice, you vote for that one choice, and he's the first choice. He or she's the first choice. Then you have, say there's 4 candidates. So you say you rank them. So if that first choice doesn't get 50% of your vote, of the vote of the state, county, whatever, or city, whatever, then you'll see your vote go to the second choice. And then you'll, if they both didn't get the 50%, then you'll see that the last person eliminated, and then they then go again like a cycle. So that's what single transferable is, and that's why we need that. There's a reason we need that, because this system is made up of 2 parties, right? And those 2 parties have allegiances to special interests on both sides. Not to say that one side, like Republicans are overtly racist, right? We don't vote for them. But the problem is Democrats don't give a shit because we have to vote for them. So we're beholden to them, but we don't have any leverage still, right? So as Black people, mostly, the people that don't vote, they don't give a shit. But if we did, right? If we 100% did give a shit, we could actually use our leverage, and if there was like a 3rd party, a 4th party,
There are though.
there are, but they
They
don't
don't have money.
They don't have money.
Not enough money.
The machine doesn't make that makes it so that it can't. It's not viable for them to actually win anything of consequence, right?
I think so.
It could.
I think, you know what? Here's the thing. I think just working like you fucking work justification. Don't wait 4 years. Start 10 years ago.
That's
for
true.
that election to happen in 2 terms. That's how you do it.
That's why a lady named Cori Bush in Missouri, she lost in 2016, but she won in 2020 because she laid a foundation. But she also used the Democratic machine. There is the duopoly. There's power in the duopoly, right? There's the power in Democrats and Republicans. That if you could take that away from them with single transferable or ranked choice, however you want to say it, I'm advocating, I'm pleading with the people that listen to me or listen to anybody that they need to. Everybody. It actually works for everybody. Honestly, it really actually works for anybody because, like, say a Larry Hogan, right? Hogan, that's the governor of this state. If I think he still would have got elected, even if people were to say Anthony Brown, who was the cabinet Democrat, so he was on first choice. Larry Hogan was my second choice because Larry Hogan was talking about getting rid of water tax. Like the water tax hit my mom's. Like a water tax, the taxing on the water of the property. That's crazy, right? That's what Martin O'Malley did to the Democrat. And he didn't do anything to amplify your life. What did he do? Nothing. So okay. There's things that the Democrats can do. They can actually not be scared to talk about a Black agenda, which the Black people the Black vote is their backbone, right? They can. There's single transferable vote where we can hold them more accountable, and have more leverage as Black people. I'm just talking to Black people. I'm sorry. I mean,
why? Why be sorry? I mean, because
no, it's not. I mean, sorry about.
Listen,
because they're sorry about it. They talk about it.
You got to talk to the people who you care about.
Yeah, I care about the community. That's what we need. The Black community has not gained a single cent in Black wealth in 100 years. Why is that? But we voted Democrat for 60. Unanimous. I can't say certain words. We're stirred up. It's all good. Shoot it up. But unanimously,
There you go.
we've
Y'all got it.
yeah, almost. Since Lyndon B. Johnson put the vote back for right. So yeah, like what have we gotten for that dedication? Not much over 60 years. And then you have these white people that say that think Barack Obama was reparation. Like they just want to say wild shit to you and disrespect you. And it doesn't matter. Like we need to actually like be able to leverage our vote. And there's things that we can do, things we can advocate for that can do that.
It is not the right word. No. Let me ask you, how do you feel? Well, where do you stand on the notion that if you are Republican, you are racist? Like that has been the narrative that's being pushed over the last year or so. Whereas if you are Republican, because Donald Trump is the president, then you are a racist. So I'm saying you agree with this. In general, there's a difference between being a Republican and being conservative. Most black people are conservative by nature. They don't believe in marriage. They don't believe in abortion. They don't believe in the government into your affairs for the most part. I'm just thinking there's this general consensus. I'm not talking about black consensus. We're not about this, right? We're conservative by nature. Conservatives are small government, social, family values people, right? That's what the conservatives are. The Republicans as a platform want to placate kids. They hope to get white and evangelicals vote. And white evangelicals for 300 years did not give a shit about black. And even now, they don't. They'll say, oh, well, you know, white, black, white. You know, I don't see color. Yes, you do. Why is your church all white? Man. I see that one coming. What the color of the church got? What they want to paint their church? Paint all the fucking walkers, nigga. Hey, that's because that's who go there. That's who goes. Would you walk into an all-white church? I have a few times. If I go to an all-white church, I'm walking. Ain't no niggas in here. Number one, I know the choir gonna be trash. I'm out. I go over there. If I don't see no gay dude or no fat woman, I'm out. That choir is trash. That choir is gonna be trash. Come on, bro. Hey, listen. A gay choir director will have a little point because he don't play no games. That's right. And they listen. The big women, they can sing their ass off. Kelly Price. You know what I'm saying? They can sing. Tamala Man. You know what? True. I mean, boy, I know it's more than that. I mean, I don't have to be big and fat. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Huge. They don't got to all the hands sometimes. Very, very. It was small. Oh, no, they're not. Pickups too. That's what I call them. They call it right. I call them pickups. I can't tell them apart. I don't even remember none of these songs. So, I would still be called right. Oh my God. Okay, so back to. So you're not talking about the building anyway. You're talking about the congregation anyway.
They got an all-white congregation. And they, shit. If I ran a church, if that was my business, I wouldn't mind having an all-white congregation too. That means when I pull that collection plate back, there's no pennies in that motherfucker. Checks, straight cash. You know what I'm saying? No church is a business. This isn't coming to America. I don't want none of the shit to make noise.
Take it from a guy that's grown up 18 years in the church. Church is a business.
All folks.
Church is a business. It is a business. So yes, you want to see. That's why the black church that's multi-denominational or non-denominational invites white people to their church because they need what they call giving units, right? Each person that gives 10% is called a giving, right? So, where are we at? Anyway, church. I'm talking about church on my podcast. I'm talking about church on my podcast. All right, man. All right, so it's
And you disrespected Mary Mary.
I didn't disrespect you. I disrespected Mary.
I gave props.
I just said they're not named Mary. Great songs. I'm just saying.
Oh, get the shackles off my feet after dance. That's what the song is. Shackles off my feet so I can dance.
Yes.
I just want to praise him.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show praise on, shorty.
Right.
Okay, so let me get back to my question. I asked you about the if you're Republican.
Are you racist? Yes.
Just blanket, yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
and I have pushback.
Okay, let's we can push back. Richard Nixon, Republican, right? Started the war on drugs. Ronald Reagan invented the welfare queen, which doesn't make any sense because white people are the majority of welfare recipients, and they do the tax fraud and mostly and the social security fraud. So they do all those what they call entitlements for. And he doubled down on the war on crime.
But what does that got to do with the people?
So
you name
dog whistle. So this thing, Richard Nixon dog whistle drugs was, and this is straight out of his aid of his mouth. We said drugs, we meant hippies and black people. When Ronald Reagan was governor of California, the only reason California and Republicans started even thinking about gun rights and gun restriction was because Black Panthers ran up on them with the pistols.
With the straight out.
So yes, this because we can say that Donald Trump is nakedly racist. So if you enable racism, it's just like if you enable racism, you're just as bad as the racist. That's why people.
I don't agree, bro.
It's just like okay. That's why the crime, like if somebody murders somebody in the commission of a crime and you're in that commission of the crime, that you can possibly get hit with the murder charge.
We just talking about a law. That's just the law.
That's a law. That comes
but every law, it doesn't make everything. Every law isn't right.
That's absolutely
right. So therefore, there's wiggle room in it, and that's why I'm asking that, because I was part of a conversation. Well, I wasn't really part of it. I was just near, and I chose not to chime in on the conversation because I don't really. I had no real connection to these people that really want to, invoke some wisdom on them. Said I want to. If they want to be ignorant, then they shall be. Some people this is what happened. I had a person talk about why they were voting for Trump and why they loved Trump, and they told me that he reminded them of their father and their grandfather about how they weren't talking about that aspect of it. right? And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. That's not what I'm saying. They were specifically talking about how they feel like he's candid or he's open and he just says whatever on his mind, and they say they can relate to him. So basically, they tell me they have somebody in their family who's like him, and so that makes them feel comfortable.
I know he's Caucasian. I know that person that you're talking about is Caucasian.
I mean, clearly, because these are white people I'm talking about,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So these are the only people I'm asking about. So my thing is, I don't think everybody that's a Republican is racist. Do they sympathize with people who are racist? Sure, but because you sympathize with somebody does not necessarily make you a racist. It just makes you a coward. It makes you when you have the sentiment of, oh, I just don't have that conversation with them, or I don't talk politics with them, or I don't really have heavy conversations with them. It's because they already know that the conversation is pointless because they're so set in their ways that I'm not. Number one, I'd rather still get my Christmas gift. I still want you to be. I want to be in your will. I don't want to upset you to the point where my family is looking at me sideways. Those things are understandable, and that's just not in the white family. Black people do shit like that too. They got shit that happens in their families that they don't speak on because they don't want to be the pariah in their family. They don't want to be the black cloud, so to speak, in their family. They don't want to be the one, the troublemaker. And so, and guess what? If you call if these young white women call their granddaddy, who they grew up loving, because they didn't know who he was or how he really felt about the world, and then they found out, oh shit, my granddaddy is the white guy that my black friends have been talking about that I've never seen. It's because they never wanted to see it, and it's easier for them to live life without seeing it. But once the problem is once they see it, they can't unsee it. It's easier to give granddaddy a slide because you have those 15, 20 years of great times and great memories of saying like, yo, he's a good dude, but he has this asterisk on him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say I don't think everybody's Republican, because if you take away who's the head of the Republican Party, there are still values that the Republicans have that people relate to.
And I'm saying that's to me that's a conservative. And you vote for conservative things, then they generally are on the Republican side. But the problem is this, and I concede your point. Not all Republicans. I'll retract what I said. Not all Republicans are racist. There's a lot of or 90% of the racists are Republicans. The things that 99.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Do you truly believe every white Democrat is not a racist?
Absolutely not.
And that's another problem what I have. It's like when we say, wait a minute, man. When people just automatically decide to say, oh, you're Republican, you're racist. That's giving any white Democrat a pass to privately be racist. Okay, so they're still your boss. They're still decision makers. They're still gatekeepers that are enacting and benefiting from a Republican being in office and being in power to make things happen and say, you know what, I'm still giving my brother I'm giving my, not brother as in brother, but brother as in actual blood brother, because they don't have brothers unless they bang with us. You know what I'm saying? They giving them passes, they giving them the leg up that we don't get.
Okay, so yes, all that's true, right? The reason why I say Republican, because Republicans want small government, but there's no government that could be small if they've already extracted the wealth from this country.
Mm-hmm.
So we then have to redistribute. So that's a problem for being a Republican, right? They don't believe in redistribution.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have then extracted for 400 years billions and trillions of dollars of wealth, while the people that you work, that the backs of that are still the poorest of the nation, that is, you're benefiting from that, whether you're Republican, Democrat, understood. But the Democrat, the Republican is at this point the main obstacle from redistribution. So there's one thing. All right. So two, a Republican will be the toughest one on crime, but we also know that police forces are funded and distributed into poor and also this happens in the IRS. The IRS attacks poorer incomes because they know they can't get lawyers to fight them. Prosecutors can't. You know, if I got this poor black kid, he can't. He's gonna have to take a plea and take that 6 months because I can do that to him.
You got the bread.
There's no paper there, so I can get that W. The police get the W, and the prosecutor can then jump. It's career benefiting for him. He can then he or she can then get a county executive seat like Angela also Brooks. Not to say that she's somebody that did that in general, but she was a county prosecutor. And that's why like Kamala Harris gets the flag that she gets as a former prosecutor, because you take those W's. Period. That's because you live within that system, and that's the balance
Oh yeah, I got finger pointing brown on your ass now.
Man, that's the breaks that you get. You gotta take that. You gotta take that lump when you want to take those W's, because you want to get poor kids off the street, right? But you want to get crime. You get rid of crime. We are over policed. We accept that we're over policed. That's another anti-black man mindset. The problem with white people, whether they're Democrat or Republican, fuck that, is they're not anti-racist enough. They love to benefit from the system that they've set up that is 400 years ahead of anybody else.
That's what I just said. It was like they don't want to upset granddaddy. They want to stay in the will. They want to still
absolutely. You make the point.
Reap the benefits.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Republicans are the main obstacle to that point.
We don't care because
it doesn't matter.
We don't have it.
Right.
So what we losing? Listen, when you die, I'll probably get your dad if you name in your will. You better name Pookie.
Yeah, we don't do life insurance.
I want that shit.
We didn't sell our family land for $1. We didn't buy our family land for $1 and then sell it for $200,000. Like there's things that we just did not have.
We bought it for $2,000 and they got to take it from us.
Right. So we have to have the mindset of we gotta get it, we gotta grind. And we can make a good living for ourselves, but that doesn't mean the community is helped and benefited in that way. Because as soon as we benefit ourselves, we move. We have to. Because we do. We have to. Because because the wolves is out because of the situation that niggas is placed in. At the end of the day.
Yeah, we have to.
The wolves need to eat, right? My nigga? Oh, you're right. The Timberwolves need to eat. Yes, the Timberwolves. The DC Timberwolves need to eat, right?
Anthony Towns got to eat.
The Southeast Timberwolves need to eat, right? The 51st and A need to eat, right? But it's just a cycle. So it doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat. If you're white, you need to be anti-racist. That means you need to be a John Brown. It means you need to burn the system down.
Look at you, fucking fake ass Huey P. Newton. Just because you light skin don't make you a fucking Black Panther.
I'm from the Black Panther. I'm just somebody that reads sometimes.
And I got the same mustache. So
yeah.
So the reason why this episode on this topic is happening is because I wanted to do a show last week, and I told y'all that I wanted to do a show, and I wanted to have my cousin on the show because she had been posting stuff about Ice Cube and his contract with Black America, and Cube was getting dragged.
Yeah, I don't want necessarily.
Cube was
agree
getting
with all
dragged for, you know what I'm saying,
that. That's what it is.
for misinterpretation of his
Time.
intent.
Yeah. And we don't
In my
know-
opinion.
I don't know if we know his intent. Honestly.
Listen, I can only go off what he said.
Right.
I didn't go
That's
off,
what
I'm not,
that's what I'm.
I didn't take a headline. I didn't take a tweet or Facebook post and just accept it as is. I went and watched his interviews.
Mhm.
I went and heard him say
I agree with
what was going on. Now is it possible, just like anybody else, to say one thing and do another? Of course, it's possible. But the fact is, I was going, like, people were going secondhand information off of what he was doing and just running with it. Darting, pew. I was going off of what he said. People were like, "Oh, Q working with Trump." No, that's not what that's not what happened. And the fact is, he put it out there for both of those parties. So my thing about him, the mistake he made is it's not about trusting Trump. Trump isn't to be trusted. Neither one of them are. You know why neither one of them are worth trusting? Because neither party, not Biden, not Trump, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, neither one of them are doing things specifically for Black people. So it's not about Trump. It's not about Biden. So he wants it to be a bipartisan contract. Because you can't make it happen with just one side, because all parties involved need to take part in making it a reality, and that's what he's trying to do.
So
what he probably didn't anticipate the platinum plan, which is not his plan. People heard platinum plan. Why? Because niggas hear platinum and rap records, they assume, oh, rapper, platinum plan, Q, oh, that's clown. And he tried to.
It actually came out before them saying that he was doing.
But it's back to what we said earlier. They don't pay attention to shit until it hits social media, to somebody complain or want to cancel somebody on Facebook. Funny as that is. And then it's like, oh, platinum plan, Ice Cube corny. He fucking with Trump. Like, bro, when they announced the platinum plan, did you see Ice Cube on stage shaking somebody's hand?
No.
Did you hear the words, my platinum plan, come out of his mouth? No, it's always been contract with Black America. And not only that, he's also came back and said, listen, I know who I am. I know I'm a rapper. I know I'm an actor. There are people who are more able to, expound upon what I've done. I invite you.
Okay.
I invite you to come in. When he was, I can't remember the name of the lady's podcast. I watch it right now, and I'm mad it's slipping my mind. But it's Vivica Fox and Vivica Fox, Selena Johnson. It's two other women on there. I hate the fact I can't remember.
I'm sure if you give Google Selena Johnson or Vivica Fox,
I can't remember the name. I think something Jordan. Their name slipped my mind. Who? No, I don't know. But I ain't about to butcher nobody's name. And my girl from Players Club, the Brat sister.
Oh, Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray. So it's three. It's another one. It might be Claudia Jordan's the fourth one. They have a female podcast, and they brought Ice Cube on there to talk about why Black women weren't specifically talked about in that plan. Some of them were getting in this shit. Some of them were giving them, respectable space. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, his message was, listen, y'all right. I'm not here to say y'all wrong. Let's come together. Give me some shit to add in specifically for Black women. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's the shit we talk about. Like, yo. Okay, so the problem fundamentally with the bipartisan deal is that bipartisan doesn't mean anything because the Republicans aren't ever going to look for the Black vote until they're dead. Little Pump is a Black woman. They're never going to. He has a fan base, so they're following. They're going to vote, and they voted. They were in Alabama.
You know why they? You know why?
They were in Ohio. Any from Ohio? Is
I
that
don't know where
is he from Ohio? Is that go should be raised? Which one
that's,
is from
no, that's
Ohio?
Machine Gun. They should be raised.
Oh,
And
I don't know where they're from.
Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Cleveland. Yeah. So the reason why the Republicans will never try to court the black vote seriously, that means during a campaign, and then actively enforce or engaging in legislation that will benefit black people directly, specifically,
exclusively.
both those, all three of those things, is because they are actively engaging in trying to get the white man. That's why there's Andy Cameron Barrett, that's why there's Brett Kavanaugh, and there's Justice Roberts on the Supreme Court, because the two issues that the white evangelical care about is gay rights and abortion. And those things can be affected by legislation at this point, but it can't be affected by rules. They don't give a shit about anything else. That's why when Trump did the transsexual campaign and the army everything, that doesn't hurt him. That doesn't hurt anybody. That doesn't hurt. It doesn't. They are looking for that. Specifically, the rich white male has tax cuts. And you know what's funny? 2017, the tax cut that he did, it's going to raise our taxes, going to make another 100,000. So if you thought, oh man, Biden's going to raise taxes, I said, make them 400,000. What if 50 years from now, I make them 400,000? You're not, first of all, you're not making lifetime. But your bum ass ain't doing that working dollars for the sucker. Also, on the way to your imaginary $400,000, he done raised your taxes, you dumbass motherfucker. Anyway, we're talking about anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That they care about raising your taxes, or raising your taxes, lowering theirs. And they care about, if they do that, they get the shield for that. They care about worship. They care about, limiting gay LGBT rights. They don't care about you, black man. So I don't understand, black man, black woman, whoever, black person. Look, they don't care about your rights. So they're not going to do anything specific for you, because the people that care about the lowering their taxes lower and abortion and whatnot don't want you. It's still 260. He still had it over. He still had it in Arizona. He's over 50%. Actually, right now. It's still no, but Trump is so you have people do like Biden and but Biden is but he's at 264, so it's a 6 point electoral votes, because so that would mean that if and at the time of this report. We're live. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, shout out to so what I'm saying is there can't be any leverage bought from the Republicans to the Democratic side, because they're not going to actually actively try to support your vote. They want you as a photo op, and that's what you gave Rice. That's what you gave Lil Wayne. That's what you gave Kanye. So understand that I wish in the duopoly that we have, that we could leverage the Republicans for the Democrats vote. or Democrat, against each other. It's not how that's not how in reality it works. It's not how it works. So, stop doing the stupid shit. I think rich man, y'all all rich black. So stop doing dumb shit. I mean, to be honest with you, there was a time, back when people could they rich, but and that's again why I was curious, like this whole Republican. So if you vote Republican, I say some people, there are people who vote Republican because they're Republican at base. You know what I'm saying? In spite of Trump, I have friends, people I would call friends, that are Republican. Not Trump supporters, but Republican. I've had some that are Trump supporters. So I also have some former friends that are Trump supporters. And I think I say that to say this, it's a case by case basis because I know some Democrats who I just don't like. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like it. And that's just the way you go how to slice it. So I just hope people stop that narrative. It's like, reasons. If you voted for Trump after the 4 years of his bullshit, I can't fuck with you. Some people are just ignorant. Like seriously, like you've seen videos where guys go out interviewing. I can't remember what's the guy's name from the Daily Show. I know Lucy was just asking. She mentioned it. I never knew his name. She mentioned his name to me the other day, and it slipped my mind. But he was the one. He'd be out there at the Trump rallies, and he's asking these questions, like simple layup questions. And they just contradict the shit out themselves like left and right and don't even realize it because they just so brainwashed. Yeah. They're just so and that's what they're brainwashed and they really stuck on that quote unquote good old way of thinking. I don't understand the enthusiasm for that guy. And I don't understand the enthusiasm for any of these political, especially on a national platform. I don't understand like he better than like I can say one guy. He was wearing a shirt, and I guess it was like making fun of the whole grab him by the pussy joint. And he started off asking like how he feel about respecting women. Like, oh, you gotta respect women. Us men gotta do better by women, respect women. But the motherfucker had to grab him by the pussy shirt. He's like, yeah, sometimes you gotta grab him by the pussy. They like it. Like, oh, okay, okay. Great charge. But don't worry, you white. He'll get probation. He'll get probation, don't worry. Here's my thing. Rapey. Right. No, I agree. No, I get it. My thing is this, man. Like, none of these people have your best interests at heart. So you need to leverage what they can give, what they're telling you they're trying to give you for your advantage and the advantage of your community. Because we're only as good as the weakest link, right? So, if because Florida just voted in the $15 minimum wage, right? Why would I go against that? Like, what is the point of that? I need to be in solidarity with the people that make non-millions of dollars. And I don't make a terrible like salary. When the cold money. What you talk about? Nigga, we know that's your Tesla outside. Wish there ain't no Teslas in this community. Oh my jeez. All I'm gonna say is you got a big red X on the top of your roof. I don't know what it's for, but I know what it's normally for. You know what I'm saying? Nah, so what I'm saying is private jet is what he got. You know what I'm saying? He got a helicopter, you know what I'm saying? None of those things. What I'm saying is this. If you have a brother and sister that aren't making the same music and their mother and father can't take care of them motherfuckers, that means you are poor because you can't take care of me and yourself. And that's a situation a lot of us, even when we make money as Black people, are in, because moms is poor, sisters poor, cousins poor. We gotta eat, but they gotta eat, and we can't see them not eat. So we gotta do what we gotta do,
Right, truly.
and then we, most of us, not most of us, a lot of us put that responsibility on ourselves when we're and that's a lot of that is survival skill and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, why would you not want to ease that for your brother and sister and your cousin and your moms? That doesn't make sense to go on the other side to try to do, like, I don't need it. I want a tax. I need a tax cut because I make under 6 figures. I don't make 6 figures. If you're talking about me to come over, I don't do that. But
Captain Crunch.
I don't make 6 figures yet. But even if I did, I wouldn't be
Telling us? Yeah, I don't believe it. Keep it on the hush. Keep it on the hush.
I wouldn't be in a rush to try and get my taxes cut. Shut the fuck up. I wouldn't be in a rush to get my taxes cut because I know that I wish I was
keep it on the hush. Don't say nothing.
You done? You got it. You got that off?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, Kobe. I'm done. Daddy face is done for the day.
Yeah.
Daddy face is done.
I didn't clean up what I done messed up. Anyway,
Okay. Go ahead, get your thought off, bro.
what I'm saying is we can't be so quick to just neglect the person that's on at the bottom of the wheel, because we got to the middle of the wheel or a quarter of the way of the wheel. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so we've reached the end of the show because the vote will go on. The votes will still be coming in for a couple of days probably. You got anything for the people before we wrap this one up, Big Money?
Watch Pennsylvania. I mean, Michigan's already done. Watch Arizona, Nevada. Don't listen to what the current guys in charge doing. Watch
The Throne?
Shit. Oh shit. What was what you had for Tay Rock movie?
You wrapping up?
You had Tay Rock too. Everybody had his movie.
Not everybody.
My bad. He's the only one. Anyway.
All right, so I didn't know.
I
I thought Brian would take the opportunity for his last words to talk about other shit, but I will. Hey, Mandalorian season 2 already started. Episode 1. Nice.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Nice. It was nice.
They got to.
I'm starting to binge this show called Eden.
Watch the.
I think it was Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to start watching that.
That's on Netflix. Right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Right.
So I'm watching that. Hey, listen, you've been on the ride up.
Peace.
1.